Do core values really matter? What are core values? Have you ever worked at a business that has their core values slapped on the wall in the break room, but are simply full of hot air? Too many companies thoughtlessly and disingenuously create core values that aren't integrated. They aren't actionable, simply put. They exist to make people think that things are being done right, that the company actually has morals, but in reality, they're an illusion. So what's the point? Well, we're going to talk about it. What are the benefits and what are some things to look out for? How do you actually integrate them and how do you enforce them? And ultimately, why are they imperative to the success of your business? Let's dive in.
You're smart, you're motivated, you want to do something big. You're on the verge of being a young boss and we're going to help you get there. I'm your host, Isabelle Guarino, and welcome to the Young Boss Podcast, where youth is your power.
Core values are defined as the deeply ingrained principles that guide all of a company's actions. They serve as its cultural cornerstone. They are the guardrails. They keep people in or out. Core values are the morals of your business. They're the characteristics of your business, the persona of your business. They're inherent and sacrosanct, never to be compromised for anything. They must be maintained at all costs. Core values are not a corporate declaration, but rather a community standard. Core values should be extracted, lived, and felt, not scripted. And some of you may be wondering, why are core values so important? Why are they all the rage these days? Well, let me take you back. Until the 20th century and the widespread use of the automobile, largely the people that we worked with were the same people that we lived with in our community. We shared the same neighborhoods, streets, markets, entertainment venues, and we likely had similar backgrounds and religious beliefs. Many times we were born in the same hospitals and grew up in the same neighborhoods, and naturally, we all shared the same culture. As the economy expanded across states, countries, and continents, the demographics of businesses changed. People from different backgrounds, upbringings, and cultures began to work together, and it needed to be done efficiently. So how do businesses get this diverse group of employees to align? Well, they create a shared belief system that's relevant to their business and how they want to do business. And it's what we have in common that drives our core values. Now, defining what we have in common is not an easy task. It's only gotten harder as the economy exists on a global scale these days. And that's why a lot of organizations' core values, they seem vague and ambiguous. They're trying to appeal to a very diverse audience. Even companies' customer bases are diverse. So how do they level with customers? It's complicated for sure. But before we dive into creating meaningful and actionable core values, we first need to talk about their benefits. First and foremost, they distinguish a company's identity. Core values can set a company apart from the competition by clarifying its identity and serve as a rallying point for employees. However, coming up with meaningful core values and sticking to them requires a ton of work. They set the tone for your business. Core values give people an idea of what you're about, what your morals are in your business, and how you're going to operate. Some will like it and some will not. Clients, customers, and employees are drawn to companies and businesses who have shared beliefs. It's similar to our friends. You likely aren't going to be friends with somebody who you always disagree with. While disagreement is healthy to some degree, you're largely going to surround yourself with people who have similar beliefs and morals as you do, people who you identify with. It's the same thing with brands and businesses. Your core values are inevitably going to attract certain types of clients, customers, and employees, but it's up to you to decide who those people are, who those avatars are. Core values also improve recruiting and retention. Core values influence behavior within your business. Core values guide the decision-making process, whether that's regarding products and services, the types of clients and customers you have, and the type of people that you hire. Core values shape organizational culture and can contribute to the overall success of a company. As you begin to formulate your core values, ask yourself these questions. What's most important to you and your business? How do you want your business to be perceived? What's the behavior you want your business and your employees to have? Beware as you create your core values. The last thing you want is a hollow set of core values that are bland, toothless, or dishonest. Empty or actionless core values can create cynical and dispirited employees, alienate customers, and undermine managerial credibility. And poorly implemented values can poison a company's culture. Some core value killers are commoditization, viewing your employees as commodities, not communities. Singularity, insisting your business is one of a kind and crafting core values unlike any other while ignoring the fact that values are attached to what's common among us. Uniformity, promoting MBA buzzword values and striving to please everyone, which results in bland values that lack meaning. Resistance, being unwilling or afraid to change. Do you remember being a kid and your mom or dad told you to do something, but they did the opposite and they told you, do as I say, not as I do? How did that make you feel? That's basically what's happening when you as the owner or the boss are not embodying your own core values. How the hell do you expect your employees and your team members to react or to follow the core values themselves? Your goal when going through this process is to create core values that have actual value to the people you hope to hire and retain, to build a community within your business that can withstand the ups and downs, and to get people to buy into your mission as a business. Something that often happens when developing core values is that business owners and managers mistake other kinds of values for core values. Hey everyone, I want to share something that has truly changed my charging game. It's the 360 electrical. When I got this cord, oh my goodness, you guys, I'm always in need of a quick charge, whether I'm on the go in the car or at the airport. I want to be able to plug it in and 15 minutes later be on full battery, and that's exactly what this has done for me. It delivers 240 watts of ultra fast charging, so you're back to full battery in no time. It is perfect for those last-minute travel emergencies. It's got a super long cord and it doesn't fray. It keeps everything nice and tidy, super easy to travel with, take with you on the road. So if you want to grab yours today, head to 360electrical.com and use promo code YoungBoss for 20% off your order. Now, back to the show. Most of the time, the core values are aspirations. They're not actually integrated into the business. An aspirational value is something a company needs to succeed but currently lacks. The way I see it, core values guide your way of doing business while leading you towards achieving those aspirational values. People often confuse permission to play values with core values too. An example of this would be integrity. Yes, agreed, integrity is important, but it's not unique or distinct to your business. That's a pretty broad core value that doesn't actually distinguish your business from others. Integrity is an expectation at most companies. These types of values, integrity, honesty, teamwork, innovation, even customer satisfaction, those are cookie cutter values. You should already have those. Those should be kind of bare minimum. Core values should be guiding behavior and create culture. You need to be aggressively authentic during this process. Don't be dangerously vague. Take professionalism as a core value. This is distinct. It means showing up on time, respecting others, not eating at your desk or collaging the entirety of your office or cubicle with photos or art projects. Seems strict, but its purpose is meaningful and understood. Risk-taking could be another one. It's very clear and concise. Employees know that it's important to experiment and try things, that it's okay to fail. Values like these immediately set the tone. While implementing your core values, you must own the process. If you do it right, core values are not some feel-good initiative to build consensus. Core values should impose a set of fundamental, strategically sound beliefs that are expected to be followed and embodied by everyone within the organization. That being said, you must weave core values into everything. Core values are going to be integrated into every employee-related process, whether that be hiring methods, key performance indicators, criteria for promotions or raises, and even firing practices. Like I've talked about before, some people are incredibly qualified for some of the positions I offer, but they don't fit the culture. And if they don't embody our core values, then what's the point? Regardless of their talents and skills, they're going to be a cog in a machine because I need everybody on board with the core values and company culture. And that's how we conduct business. That's how we create a level playing field within the organization. Everybody's on the same page, and core values are great for figuring that out and avoiding hiring mistakes. One corporate executive said, I can work with someone who needs more coaching or training, but when it comes to core values, I have to be intolerant. Core values are non-negotiables. On the flip side, as important as core values are, there can be some drawbacks. They can make some employees feel like outcasts, and they can limit an organization's strategic and operational freedom and constrain the behavior of its people. They also leave executives and owners open to heavy criticism. If you're not embodying the core values, then be prepared to be called out, even for the smallest, most minor infraction. Seems a little extreme, but if you're building your core values after already launching your business and hiring your teams, that's what you're up against. So if you're going to create core values, it's better to do it at the jump as you're conceptualizing and creating your business. And while we're talking about executives and business owners, it's easier to see the core values in action with a small business because you're likely working with the owner or founder. You see them embodying the core values every day. The business is more connected and authentic to those core values, but at the same time, as I just mentioned, it'll be easier for employees to hold you accountable and poke holes in your dedication to those core values, since you'll be seeing them and communicating with them and working with them on a daily basis. On the corporate side of things is when you see core values kind of fall apart. They feel a little bit more aspirational, and as it requires a ton more effort to integrate and enforce when you have thousands of employees in hundreds, if not thousands of locations. For example, one of McDonald's core values is we put our guests and people first. That sounds nice in theory. However, a Big Mac contains 18 chemical additives and a notable preservative that's been found to worsen hyperactivity in children. That doesn't quite seem like you're putting people or guests first. And you'll see the disparity at a ton of corporations as you work down the food chain of the company. Companies have record profits in a year, yet half their workforce is so underpaid that they're living on food stamps. So something's got to give. Listen, core values aren't just a buzzword or a trendy addition to your company's mission statement. When done right, they're the backbone of your organization's identity, driving decision-making, shaping culture, and guiding behavior at every level. They're not meant to be vague or generic phrases that look good on a plaque or hung in a break room or organized neatly on your company's about page. They should be distinctive, clear, and woven into the DNA of your business. They should be noticeable without even needing to be explicitly explained. Defining and living by core values requires deep introspection, honesty, and commitment, but the payoff is worth it. With authentic core values, you will attract the right people, foster a cohesive culture, and build a brand that stands for something more than just profit. Your core values should be the compass that points your company towards long-term success, ensuring that every hire, every decision, and every interaction is aligned with your overarching vision. So ask yourself, are your core values a reflection of who you truly are as a business, or are they just words on a wall? Make them real, live by them, and watch as they transform your business from the inside out. Because when your core values are genuine, they become more than just a statement. They become a way of life. Thanks for listening to another episode of Young Boss with me, Isabelle Guarino. Be sure to like, share, and follow on Instagram and TikTok, and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify. And let me know, do you have your core values down packed? Remember, youth is your power.